No better person to talk to right now than billionaire investor Wilbur Ross of WL Ross and Company. Wilbur's joining us now live from New York. Great to see you, Wilbur. You've made investments in distressed opportunities. You made a killing on the Irish banks just at the point where everybody was terrified about their health. They've come back. The Greek bank situation, you got to tell me how that's playing out. But overall, when you see a day like this, what goes through a head like yours? What are you thinking about?
Well, I really blame Janet Yellen and the Fed for being so indecisive and putting so much emphasis on this 25 basis point hike. There's never been a more programmed thing than that. And it's silly. 25 basis points is really a rounding error, but they've made it into this huge psychological problem. So I really blame a lot of the volatility on the Federal Reserve.
It sounds like you would say then, Wilbur, tune it out and just buy companies that you feel are cheap right now and would go up, right? I mean, is that what a guy like you thinks about?
Well, it is, and frankly, it's one of the reasons to think about banks. All banks are more heavily benefited by rising interest rates because their asset side gets repriced more rapidly than the liability side. So one way to hedge yourself against rising rates is to own banks.
Let me quickly ask you, because we do have protests in Greece right now. I stood here on this floor when there was a lot of volatility about 6 months ago regarding Greece, and over the summer I said, you know what? This is not in our rearview mirror. It is simply a Band-Aid solution with all of the money that's been going through. Now we're seeing more complaints about the austerity plans. How did you make out in your investment? I believe it was Alpha National Bank.
No, we're in Eurobank, and it's been announced that we will be subscribing to more under the capital increase that's coming in the next few days.
So I'm going to be watching for news involving that, because if the banks get recapitalized, that would be bullish for them, correct?
Yes, the key thing that it needs to occur is the Greek government has to finalize their arrangements with the Eurogroup, particularly the new foreclosure laws. That's been the big sticking point between them. They have to get that fixed, and if they do at the Eurogroup meeting on Monday, then I think this offering will go fine.
Wilbur, I'm sorry, I just looked at that chart. It's a penny a share. It's barely even existing as a share. I know you got in higher, but is this something where if you're getting this money from the European Central Bank, or this recapitalization, that people can buy 1,000 shares at a penny, and then if it goes up 3 pennies, they've done incredibly well? It seems a little dangerous for the average investor.
Well, the reason it's trading at a penny is two things. One, there's uncertainty about whether the offering will come off. And then second, it has billions of shares outstanding. So it's a very large number of shares, coupled with the very indecisive moment, because nobody knows for certain if Greece will finalize its arrangements with the EU. My assumption is they will, and I think that this will prove to be a good buying opportunity if they do.
Leap of faith. Okay, folks, when you look at a guy like Wilbur, he's ready with a stomach of steel or titanium to make that leap of faith.